are you? I'm Jazz. I am the founder of the Secret Society of Living Goddesses and the Soul Leadership Method. And today is a Tip Tuesday, which is here to help you gain more energy, more grounded centeredness and balance in your life. So the tip today is um, finding a flow that works for you. One of the first things that my clients ask when they want to work with me is they want to find their happiness. They want to find their flow. They know that their life isn't what they would like it to be. They know that their life is not optimal. They want to regain their energy. They want to regain some of their empowerment, and they are looking for ways to do that. So, one way to do that, and the first thing, and it's a big thing because it's part of mindset, right? It's confronting your idea of productivity. And what productivity often looks like for those of us who are entrepreneurs is that you have to be on 24/7 all the time. So there are no time off. Like maybe you can squeeze some time off around Christmas, but not really because there's a client this, there's a project that, and like you're always on all the time. If you're a mother with children, then it's often that your kids always need you all the time and you don't have space or time to have a breather, and you're always productive, you're always giving more. Well, if this is our idea of productivity, if this is what we value as a society, I mean, no wonder you're feeling overwhelmed. No wonder you're feeling exhausted and tired and you don't know who you are anymore. And if I ask you, well, what would make you happy? Your first answer would be, I just don't know anymore. It's so easy to disconnect to your own happiness when you feel like you have to be on all the time and always reacting to what's going on around you. Does that feel like you? Does that feel true to you? Let me know in the comments. So one of the first things that we have to do, especially in a coaching relationship, is to reestablish your boundaries and to confront your mindset of and your buy-in of what productivity is, because what that is, it's a concept, and it's like a social concept that we buy into. We say, yes, that is the truth, and yes, I have to be productive all the time. For sure, when I started my business and my office was not so far away from home, and then clients would call me and say, hey, I'm in your parking lot, can you not come and open the door so I can purchase a few things? I would drop what I was doing at home and I would go to the office because I had that mindset that I have to be always present for whoever is showing up at my door. Not so anymore. I'm allowed to have Sundays off, and I do take my Sundays off. And I have put some other boundaries in place, right? But we often buy into that. A lot of the moms, it's I can't even go pee on my own. And they don't have that boundary that they can shut the door and train their kids to not knock on the door and not expect an answer when the door is shut and mom is in the bathroom, right? Those are all things that we buy into, that we have to be like this. We should be like this. I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good entrepreneur. I'm not a good coworker. I'm not a good this, if I'm not being productive all the time. If my schedule is not full from like some people do this, and those are, it works for some A types, it works for some soul groups, but the 15-minute block. So every 15-minute block, everything is scheduled from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And even bedtime as you sleep is monitored through the Fitbit or whatever, right? As humans, we haven't evolved to be like this. We haven't evolved to be like this. Quick history note. That idea of productivity came around in the Edwardian times. In the Edwardian times, about 200 to 300 years ago. That's when machinery came in. That's where mass production started in England, and workers started to work more in the cities rather than on the fields. And there was this idea of needing to be open all the time and being productive all the time. And that was impacted even more after World War II, where everything was really became mechanized and industrialized. So the age of industry really made us feel that we have to be productive all the time, just like a machine. And we're talking about the human machine. But that's not how we're made. That's not how humanity evolved. Like, we have millions and millions of years of being connected with nature. So one of the first things that you need to do is confronting that mindset. Like, how deep are you buying into this concept of productivity? And are you willing to let it go, even just a little bit? Because you're not meant to be productive all the time. And if you feel that you have to be productive all the time, that you have to give of yourself all the time with no downtime, no wonder you're exhausted and tired. So let's change a little bit of that, shall we? So, one thing that you can do is to reclaim some time for yourself, some downtime. How will you do that? Well, there are several ways. So I'll tell you like 3 ways and what works for me, but you have to find what works for you because we're all made differently, right? So one way to have some downtime for you is, especially if you're really busy, if you're new at this, if you have young kids who have not learned yet to leave you alone when you go to the bathroom, is really to have that boundary and teach them that when the door is closed, they shall not knock, right? So I know it's confronting, and most of you mothers may say, no, but I can't do this. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's hard for you because you're confronting that value that you have to be available all the time, but it is feasible. You are allowed to have 5 minutes to pee on your own without anybody knocking at the door. You can do this, right? So that just 5 minutes of downtime in your day. When my son was young, I was always telling my husband that Saturday mornings I have 1 hour just for me. So doors are locked and it's a long shower. You know those luxurious showers where you have 2 shampoos, 1 conditioner, body scrub. I needed that at the end of the day, at the end of the week, right? So that was like my downtime. I had a Saturday morning for me in the bathroom. So that's one quick thing to do. Another thing that you can do is to follow your own cycle. So if you're still menstruating, look at your level of energy through the month, because when you are close to ovulation you have more energy, and when you're close to your menses you have less energy. I used to have to sleep almost 18 hours a day. I know that I had issues but it would just drain my energy. So I could fight and say no, even if my body needs rest, that I'm still going to show up for work. I'm still going to do the same thing. And that's the idea. Sometimes we think that we have to be the same every day, right? We buy into that other mindset that we have to be happy, we have to be energetic, we have to be like top notch, productive, 100%, our best self all the time. And we can't do that. You have to give yourself the gift of some rest every once in a while, especially when your body needs it. So if you follow your cycle, then perhaps, especially if you're an entrepreneur, or even if as a mom, the way that you schedule your activities, like your cleaning and all of these things that we need to do around the house, do that closer to the time where you're ovulating rather than when you're menstruating, so that's how you find balance. So it's not an everyday, but it's cyclical, right? Just like nature. We have all of the seasons, we have the nights and day, we have all the cycles in nature. So bring that into your life as well. The other thing that you can do is follow the moon. So the moon has its cycles and the moon has energy. If you're a mom, if you're a nurse, you know that things can get crazy around the full moon. And by the way, it's a full moon now, full moon in Scorpio, which is like super duper crazy. So if the kids have been acting out, that's probably why. It's going to pass. Don't worry. But there's that flow of energy all the time. So full moon, there's more energy typically. And then the new moon is time for introversion, more journaling, more meditation. Things are usually a little bit more quiet during the new moon. So you can follow a cycle of the moon to help you choose your activities. And, when you meet clients, when you reach out, it's a lot easier for me to reach out in the days leading to the full moon. And the days leading to the new moon, I'm more introspective. I don't really want to see anybody, so I don't schedule outreach meetings around the new moon. I used to schedule also, because as an entrepreneur, I can choose my schedule, and I used to schedule my classes to start on a new moon and kind of wrap up on a full moon, but that didn't work. I tried that for a year. It didn't really work because that meant that 1 month the class could be on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the next class it was on Thursday, and it was just difficult to schedule everyone. because we're still working, even though we want to have more balance and we have to have cycles in our own life, we're still working in a bigger society, right? So, and everybody else is working like Monday to Friday and following a solar calendar. So we kind of have to fit into that a little bit. So you can certainly track your energy with the moon, but then find a way that works in the big scheme of things. So what works for me right now as an entrepreneur is that the last week of the month, which is this week, I typically don't work. So it's kind of a bonus video today because I was asked to do it for another networking group. So I'm doing this here as well. But you will see that I'm not sending an email this week. Things are more quiet this week. There are less posts this week. It's more things from my Instagram that I can just post. I don't see clients the last week of the month. So this is kind of my dark of the moon. This is a time for me to rest, to recuperate, to go in as the last week of the month. And then, so I have the other weeks of the month to be more productive. Because if I don't take time for myself, if I don't take time to do some extra meditations, if I don't take time to nourish my soul, then I would be serving you from a place of depletion. And that's not a good thing. I want to serve you from a place of fullness, from a place of gratitude, from a place of joy. And for me to do that, I need to have the downtime. And so I'm modeling this for you so that you can give yourself permission to, again, challenge that mindset of productivity and to add a cycle that works for you in your own life. So it can be small, like locking the bathroom door when you go to the bathroom, or it can be something bigger, like taking a whole week off every month and not see any clients. So I want to know, what are you willing to do this month into the month of May to confront your belief of productivity and to add this notion of cycle in your life? Let me know in the comments. And if you need any help, remember to reach out to me. If you need, especially if you're confronting that belief of needing to be productive all the time, we can talk about that. The coaching program is going to be wonderful for you to examine that deeply and to detach yourself from generational karma, from personal karma, from beliefs that is keeping you stuck into that mindset and into that pattern, into that habit, so that you can really rise up as the goddess within and find more balance, more joy, more happiness in your life. So until then, I'm giving you a big, big hug from my heart to yours. Remember to rest, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.